We're just being extra.
Yeah.
We'll edit it.
Keep it in there. Look, it's speaking. You know what?
And speaking, we haven't been on the mic for a really long time.
I'm like, why am I nervous again?
Are you nervous again?
Again. You know, it's just been a while since I had a mic in my face.
A mic?
A real one.
I was going to say.
You know. You know. Anywho, hey, welcome back to the podcast. This is the Just Extra podcast with Jackie and Erica. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erica.
Season 3.
We still here.
We're not changing, apparently.
New season. Say me.
Honestly. All right. So this season, we're trying something a little bit different. As you can see, we're in a different space. Again, this is a whole new situation. So we're really putting some effort in. And also, just let you know, we are on all streaming platforms now. I know that's right. Season 3, we're okay. We need to start
Let me upgrade ya.
So Apple, we're on where else?
Apple, Spotify, Google,
iHeart.
There's no more Google podcasts.
Oh,
and we don't support.
Oh, we don't support Google anymore. Well, we'll get into that a little bit more. I'm like, look, that's kind of hard. They got a chokehold on everything now.
It's hard when things are a monopoly. Why was Amanda Seales just like, we all have to adapt to change. Okay, the things that we have been comfortable and accustomed to, we need to get more familiar with change, okay? And knowing that who we, liked and support, we gotta stay agile, folks.
You gotta switch it up. We can't stay too comfortable. But my problem is, it's like, I feel that sense of like not feeling comfortable at all just because I know change should be coming soon and I don't know when. Mm-hmm. So I'm never truly at ease. Like when I'm at ease, I feel like I'm falling off, I'm slacking. But, when I'm like, I'm anticipating change, I'm on edge. But I mean, I guess I'm ready. Whatever ready is. Anyway, so Hassan is actually going to ask us some rapid fire questions.
Why am I like, follow, share? There was other instructions.
Oh, shit. You're right. We suck. Can we do this over?
Like, comment, subscribe. We must read. Comment, subscribe on YouTube. We're still on that platform, folks.
Stop this right now.
We're back.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Make sure you like, follow, and download all of our episodes on whatever streaming platform you're listening to us on. Okay. If you like us, show us some love and do all the things. Okay.
If you like us when you're on the streaming platforms, it really helps us when you download it. See, you don't even have to listen to the whole episode if you don't have the time. Just download it, and then come back to us when you have time. Because I know you got time. So many people out here are making podcasts these days, but I feel like we're just interesting. I feel like we're an interesting podcast. I go back and listen to us all the time. And sometimes I go back and listen to them days where I was acting up. I was like, oh, shit. That's okay. So
all of the episodes is what she's trying to say.
I'm trying to change. I really am, y'all. But,
it's actually really funny. Okay, so if you're just now kind of getting a hold of like the name of our podcast and our names, it's like Just Extra, J and E, and Erica and Jackie and Erica. You know
what's so funny? When y'all told me that,
we were like season 2, episode 70, and now we're season 3, episode 71. See how I hit that other note that you gave me? Episode 71.
What's the significance?
What's the significance?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that there's a ton of episodes that, you've been acting up in. And, we did the just for Jackie and the extra for Erica. But Jackie might be the extra.
I am definitely.
It kind of actually just depends on what the topic is,
It really is. Because sometimes I'm just real calm.
And I'd be extra. So.
Just extra.
Thank you.
Again, follow, download, follow, comment, and subscribe. On all platforms. We're here. We're back. Bigger and better.
Why am I like, we're here and queer?
I thought that's what you were about to say too.
Right?
It was right there.
It fits.
Hey.
Look,
that's what she said.
That's because you can pick a size.
That's right.
All right.
That's the best part.
Let's get into it. We're talking about Heaux Phases. Okay.
If you don't know, I don't know. I think we've all heard the term Heaux Phases before, and I feel like it's a very interesting topic. So, Hassan brought this to us, so he got some rapid fire questions for us. So we're going to open it up with a couple of questions, and then, we're going to get into our catch up because it's been a while, and then we're going to get into the main topic. So What's up? Rapid fire.
All right. So the first question I want to ask you guys: have y'all ever left a club with someone that y'all just met?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So y'all actually like
Yeah.
had sex with them? All that?
Yes.
Oh shit! Interesting. I've never done that.
Really?
I haven't.
I thought that was just called college.
Look, I called that look, when I first moved to Houston, I was like, he got a Benz, y'all. Look, he got a hot tub. Let's go. So, and then
I never done that. Even in college, like.
Interesting.
Nah. Have I fingered some people?
Oh.
That's okay.
I've done that. Did I do that? Does that count?
I think it counts.
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's counts.
Penetration.
Some form. It's
Of
it works.
intimacy.
Yes.
That's right.
Intimacy.
Beyond. It was probably something that shouldn't have happened at the club.
Hmm.
Did it happen at the club or after the club?
No, it was actually at a house party that it happened at. That I did. You know,
Love a
lights
house
low.
party.
Yeah, lights low.
Yeah.
All that other stuff.
Yeah.
So
I miss a good kickback. That's the one thing Chicago did. In my youth, I was just like, I'm all about a kickback. But everything else, I'm just like, yeah.
Love a kickback. Love a
kickback.
Love a kickback.
Kickback.
Kickback. Rapid fire, another one.
I was looking.
All
I was
right,
like,
so next question. Have you ever double booked a date night? Not just like going out to eat, like you had sex with somebody else and then right afterwards.
Yeah, it was
That's
my
awesome.
birthday one year because I was really irritated with my ex at the time. We didn't get back together at the time. He was still kind of working on getting me back. And I was just like, okay, the reason why we broke up was obviously he just was texting other people and I don't know what the hell he was doing when we're not around. So, whatever, I'm not feeling it. So my birthday, he was like, can I take you out for your birthday? Yeah, we had the dinner, we had all of that. And then I hit up my work, at the time. And then after he dropped me off, I got picked back up. Like I literally hopped into the shower. That's really wrong, y'all. But I literally hopped into the shower, got ready, and I was like, all right, time to get cracked for my birthday.
Is it really wrong though? As long as you use
I wasn't
protection.
with the person, but it was, you talked about double book. I double booked.
See, okay, because that's where I was going because I was like, does double book mean like, ooh, I totally forgot I had a date. And so now I have two at the exact same time. Does it mean I have two things that night? I got like a cocktail and I got like a full-on dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this double booking?
I thought it was just double booking as in like you had sex with two people.
So it's automatically sexual intercourse, eh?
I mean, if you go on a date with some two people, it's not a Heaux Phase. You're just going on a date with
That
them.
is the topic.
According to some people.
Well, I have done it in like a 24-hour period, like different people.
I think I've done that before.
I don't think that's like double booked, but
if you do it like
I just got clapped and then I'm getting clapped like in an hour.
I mean, maybe an hour isn't that bad.
That's crazy work.
She said maybe an hour isn't that bad.
No,
in an hour you can go shower.
It wasn't an hour. It was definitely like, later that night. But that was college,
Yeah.
Twas a time.
Yeah, we don't judge people from that. I mean, we were still learning ourselves.
Learning ourselves.
And then that's when I realized, some people have bad sex. Yeah. That's what
Well, I mean, we were 19.
Yeah. I was 18. We're just a year younger. Okay. It was still freshman year.
I think anything I did during my younger years when it came to like sex, I feel like I was trash at it. Now I feel like I wasn't trash, but it's like I didn't know any better, like how I know shit now. Mm-hmm. So it's like, damn, if I was who I am now back in college,
I say that all the time.
If I was who I am now, I would have just been a little bit more strategic and not putting my feelings in certain things. I'm like, Jackie, you didn't have to. It's okay. I had the right mindset, but the execution. There was a phrase somebody said, stick to the plan, not your mood. Mm-hmm. And that's just what I normally go with anyway. But when my mood takes over, okay, all bets are off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. Have y'all forgot someone's name that y'all hooked up with?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I don't know half them hoes.
Yeah, Mr. I went home with at the club. That I forgot that man's name, but I know what he looked like. His tooth did like a weird, because I saw it that morning and I was like, oh, and I will never forget that. I saw him again when we were out and about, but I did not say nothing to him. I was like, oh,
Was it good?
I don't remember.
That'd be the
Honestly.
problem.
It was, I remember because he tried to do it again in the morning. And I was like, I don't really like you. I gotta go. And I'm like this. Because you ever just heard a guy like just go at it and it's like, yeah, you like that? And I'm like,
I don't.
and I'm looking up like, dang, I feel like I gotta go with it or else he gonna get mad. Oh, yeah. I don't like lying.
Mhm.
So
That's funny.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is yours. I gotta
Right,
go.
right. That's that Jasmine Sullivan Hotels are album. She had the one song in there. It was like Antoinette's something. Anyway, next. That's it.
What about you?
Oh,
Have you forgotten what story you got?
I forgot. Robert, like, I listened to you and I forgot the question.
Have you forgotten someone's name that you?
I said I forgot half them hoes' names.
Damn, what's half like?
Okay, see.
That's a trick question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would have to know what the whole is to know what the half is.
That's a good one. That's how you do that shit.
It's always 3.
It's always 3.
Well, now we're in our 30s. It's got to be 5. You got to have 2 more.
That's
Okay.
you know somebody lying there. Like,
5 is good. I've had 5 boyfriends.
5 boyfriends. We don't care about the boyfriends. We just know who all you fuck.
It's gonna be 5 regardless.
That's crazy. Okay. So, next question, last question. Have you accidentally caught feelings during the whole phase?
Of course. That's my problem these days. I'm like, dang, Jackie, you need to stop hanging out with these people afterwards. But, it happens. We're all humans.
I think I'm always like open to being in like actual, like a romantic situation, So I'm always like approaching these situations that way. Like maybe there's a possibility, So I think because I start that way, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I don't end that way. I just feel like I start that way. I'm like, and then people show me and I'll be like, oh no, okay, so this is what it is. This is just going to be this situation. All right.
So you never talk about it like before anything, like what this is? Like you never do that?
No. I think absolutely, because I'm always like, so maybe this will be a thing, like maybe I'll try and hold your hand and you'll treat me in the street. And then I'll be like, oh, I guess we're not going to catch any. We're not going to. Well, I don't know if that's catching feelings if it's at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If it continues after that and I'm like, I already knew what it was. So we just don't continue to put our mindset that this is going to be anything. You already treated me. So
no matter what what type of guy it is, it's just like, that's your mindset going in all the time.
Unless they trying to show me something differently, but I'm going to see what you are doing and I'm going to be like, this is what it is. I'll be like, okay. Even though I might enter into it like, maybe. But then I'm going to be like, oh, I can see these actions. That's not actually going to be anything. Let me just turn it all off, So I feel like I don't be the one at the end of the situation being like, dang, this whole thing was a situationship the whole time. I'm upset. I'm like, I've not been that person. I've been the person at the beginning, like, maybe this will be something. And then it's like, it's not. So we just like, we know, so I don't feel like I've left a situation or a Heaux Phase situation being like hurt, like, oh, I caught feelings.
I live in a world of delusion sometimes. And I always feel like I can do it. I'm a bad bitch. I can do it. I can just fuck and call it a day. And then, when people start saying sweet nothings to you, you're like, dang, this could be nice. And then, okay, I'm like, Jackie, heads, you got to put your, game face on. You got to be, this is just that. It's just that. Keep it cute. Keep it cute. And then you're just like, well, maybe. And then you kind of live in that a little too long. And then, unfortunately, my feelings get involved and then my ego gets involved and then I get upset. So honestly, can't do it. I'm not really built for it.
I feel like it's hard to catch feelings for me because no one is really whispering the sweet nothings to me.
Dang, like awesome, like.
No, it's very like, this is what it is. Like, this is what it is.
So when you said earlier about being treated in the streets, that part, like.
Yeah, because it's very clear from jump. It's not about to be nothing.
No, they be treating me like girlfriend. Like, oh, this babe, this like we together. Like, this is my like And I'm like, well, dang, maybe we should get together. But I'm like, no, we can't. And then I end up falling for it. And
that's not my experience. I don't think anyone actually sees me and it's like, I want to treat you like a girlfriend. It's like, I want to treat you like a whore. Whore. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask this question. It may sound crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What's usually the situation that happens that makes them think that, I guess?
Probably because I was a whore from the beginning.
Okay.
I did a lot of leading with sex, I think. So of course, people are like, oh, you led with sex, so that's what it is. And I'm like, I did lead with sex. But sometimes leading with sex could turn into something else. Sometimes.
mm-hmm.
But that's not where I was with the people that I was with. It started as sex and that's what it was. And it was pretty clear, So
I do have an interesting question for y'all.
What's up?
So when it comes to, let's just say it comes to y'all just want to have sex with somebody, right? Is it just sex or is there other things that y'all require, just not just sex? Like, say as though, like, if y'all
common
have
decency.
Sex, if y'all have sex with somebody, is there a requirement for y'all to cuddle or things like that?
I thought that comes with it. I know some guys don't like to cuddle. I hooked up with a guy who wasn't a cuddler, but then he turned into somewhat like, oh, we could sit and talk for a little bit. More recently, I've become an extreme cuddler. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did this come from? I'm not really like a physical touch person, but I don't know. I think it just depends on the person. I think for me, as far as requirements, honestly, I don't go into it like this is going to be a situationship, like, how do I say it? This is going to be just sex. I'm more so like, oh, you want to date me? You want to talk to me? This is good. And then, and then it turns into a situationship. And I'm like, fuck, let me get my head straight. Or, oh, we could be dating. Let me act right. I don't know. I feel like I play a lot of different scenarios in my head. And I don't know what direction we're going in. But as far as requirements, take me out on some dates. Like, what we doing?
But if it's just sex,
we gonna go eat.
If it's just sex,
you're not gonna feed me?
No, if it's just sex.
No, I don't do that.
So that would be the difference as to why you would get the girlfriend treatment, because you, I think, required some of those things that I didn't require. Like, I kind of just wanted you, I don't ever require anybody to do anything. I want you to genuinely show up how you would like to genuinely show up for me. Mm-hmm. And I will move based off of that. Yeah. I'm like, if this is just sex, I'm gonna get something from this interaction. We are having sex. But I've never been like, okay, so to have sex with me, you need to first take me to dinner. No, that's
anybody saying like,
I would love
it.
I'm
not sex with you. What do we have to do? I would like that sometimes if I would like people to come forward to say, I would like to have sex with you. What do you require? I've never been asked that like per se, but I don't know. I think for me, I only respond to people who kind of treat me that way anyway. So for somebody to come on some like just sex stuff, it never really went with me. I guess because I'm just not like that sexual, like my sexual prowess doesn't really like come out like instantly.
Yeah. I think that I had a very low self-worth for probably a long time. I think, again, growing up in a predominantly white space and never having anyone actually like me. No one took interest in me as a romantic partner, period. So, didn't have a lot of, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of options. So I definitely accepted a lot of like whatever came this direction, you know? So I was just like, okay, this is, I don't know.
I think that's, that kind of answers the questions of like why you already know what it is and you can manage your expectations better than I can manage my expectations. Because mine, I'm mixing things up. I'm blurring lines bad. And that's how I get messed up every time. Is that all the questions that we have?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
All right, y'all. So, season 3, we had some time off. So we've been living a little bit of life. So, ma'am, what you been up to?
Okay. Well, when we started season 2, I lost my job, right? That's how we introed that season. So we took a break and I was like, came back unemployed. I don't think we're doing that this time. I want to quit badly. So we're still employed.
Ooh,
we're still employed.
Don't quit, girl.
I'm not going to quit.
It's hot out here.
But I have been bamboozled. Okay. I accepted a remote position and 4 months in, they were like, gotcha. You got to go to the office, which is an hour, one direction. Which I think is like dumb because there was another opportunity that I was entertaining that was a little bit more and closer. But it did say from the beginning, like, come into the office 3 days a week. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll take a little less for no going into the office.
No, I would, because at the end of the day, like, when people think about the overhead when it comes down to like going to the job, the distance of the job, gas, me packing my lunch, me dressing up, it's just, how much money am I really spending to go to work?
I think I heard a TikTok or Instagram reel, and someone was talking about like, what working from home actually gives us? Time. And do you know what we can do with time that your employer doesn't want you to do? Think. And what are you going to be thinking about? What you could be doing with this time? How can I not be dependent on my job? How can I be happy? How can I find joy? How can I maximize this time? With time, you get some power back to make some of these decisions. But no, employer said, oh, no. They're getting too smart. Yeah, no, we need y'all to be exhausted so that you don't have time to think. So I need to consume all of your day so that you don't have time. And by consuming all of that your day, that means I need you to wake up earlier so that you can put on those clothes and get yourself together and come physically, here by your commute and spend your time here and get interrupted and constantly, approached and all these things that happen when you're surrounded by other people in a shared space. Then so that you can go home, deal with traffic again, have to get undressed for the day, evening, and do it all again. So yeah, they definitely don't want you to have that time and energy to think about anything else, like finding another job.
Look, it ain't no jobs out here. Look, honestly. Oh, okay.
So there's that. And then still got a man.
She's got
a man.
Who?
Shantae.
Erica's got a man. And you don't know that
You
song?
never heard of Shantae's Got a Man at home?
We'll play it tonight.
No, Joni's got a gun though.
No.
Wow.
Is it Joni? Jody?
No.
Jody.
Shantae Moore, get into your R&B bag, girl. Don't worry about it. We'll play it.
Okay.
But,
well, still got a man. And we like to have new experiences,
I see.
Yeah, I'm an experienced person.
Wait. Oh, shit. What happened?
So we decided to plan a little date to the waxer. So we got Brazilians together, but separate because, we weren't in the same room.
Wait, he got one too?
Yeah, a manzillion. Yes. I have only had one other wax in my life. Mm-hmm. It was back in 2019, right before Thailand. So why, when I walk in there, obviously, it's a chain. And so they were like, oh, welcome back. You haven't been here in like 85 billion years. We were looking at your record.
European wax center?
Mm-hmm. All right. And they're like, oh, why haven't you come back? And I was like, I don't know. I just handle my business on my own, I guess. I don't know, whatever. And I guess I got lazy this time around. And, I just wanted somebody else to take care of that ish. So I went in there. And, I was talking to Capricorn and I was like, I get my eyebrows threaded. It's a little painful, but, you keep it pushing and it's a short period of time. So, it's going to be all right. We're going to be okay. And when I got in there and I got that first little rip, I was like, oh.
And we got to finish.
Huh. My first thought was, I hope he's okay over there because this is his first time for real. For real. I hope he gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they were getting closer to the.
Yep. You know what? Actually, don't worry about it.
And I was like, whew. And of course, you know, your girl was shaking and sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Got up.
On it.
I got up. And I had all the papers stuck to my little booty.
I bet you did. They probably put extra, like, hold on. You got it.
Which, slight tangent, have you seen the thing going viral about the gynecologist, like, assistants that were taking, like, selfies with, like, the discharge?
I saw that, and I was just like, y'all ain't nothing.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
That's nasty.
Who does that?
Still wetter than you, bitch.
Ooh.
That's it.
You jealous because I got juice and you don't. Ho.
You know?
Anyway. So yeah, we got out and you know, he did have to tell his lady that we weren't gonna do a full Brazilian today.
He probably wouldn't have. What you talking about?
He got a bikini full, is what they call it. So
I was just gonna ask, does the wax also include like your butt too?
The Brazilian includes the butthole. Yes.
And the funny part, that's not that part is actually easier.
That's the easiest part. That's
Really?
what I told him because he was like, he had to ask her how many pieces, and she said 6 more, and he was like, "Oh
No,
wow,
see, you do
well
it,
maybe
see.
we're gonna stop after that." And she was like,
was
"Okay,
going
so we'll just
through
do
it.
like the
Go
full."
ahead and did the little booty, call it a day.
When he got out, I was like, "That's the easiest part."
That's
You
I'd
know?
rather get my ass waxed all day versus like them inner lips.
I mean, I'm not going.
Well, he ain't got no inner lips.
I'm not
but,
being
you
back.
know.
I'm not back there. We not at this moment in time.
Not yet.
So it's fine. Oh man, whatever you go.
Honey, waxing is so harsh, and funny enough, you still might get some ingrowns depending on like what's going on. See, I get sugar, and I get sugar regularly, and so the fact that you don't get it often, child. But look, sugar is supposed to be a little bit less painful, and it's more natural. But I ain't gonna lie, my last visit, that bitch almost ripped my lip off, and I was like, look. I know this about you, Erica, right now. Just the bitch who out there, you at
Ripping
the
lips.
Sugared and Bronze in Poso,
Ooh.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, girl, who the hell taught you how to freaking wax? Who gave you an esthetician license? Because I'll never come to you again. I had to actually go see, when I went to the desk, who is that? Okay. Don't you ever put her on my shit ever again.
That
okay?
is so funny because when I was getting my wax, the lady told me like, oh, I just got, a client that came back. She got like her service done somewhere else for whatever reason. And she came back to me and was like, I just want to say thank you so much for being so kind and gentle to me because I had the worst experience where I went, like the worst experience ever. Like she was telling me this lady came in and hugged her. She's like, she literally came in and like hugged me. It's like,
You
okay.
better write that name down for later.
Crazy. So yeah, we're feeling smooth. We're feeling good. We haven't had to test her out. She hasn't been around the block yet because I've started dripping.
What? This is the best week. First week is the best week.
Well, we're gonna have to wait a week.
All right, well, you'll be all right.
It'll be all right.
You got 4 weeks.
Yeah. So that's me. Living my life.
That's your update. Okay, girl. Well,
What's going on with you?
oh Lord. So, some transitions, So my little sister moved in with me. She is giving Houston a spin. So, there's a whole bunch of changes in the world, but she decided, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and try Houston. So she's been here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, what do you mean you coming to Houston? Because, apparently her and my mom had like a conversation before talking to me, like months in advance. And I was like, wait. And she came to me and she talked to me when she came to visit the first time. And I was like, okay. Now, I'm not going to get into too much about my own personal business at home, but just know back at home in Chicago, it's not really a good situation. So she's out here and, we're just getting to know each other again. My sister, she is like 24. So, and I'm just turning 33. So we have this gap. But I swear I'm the little sister. She's the big sister because she's more mature than I am. I think she's had more time to like be to herself because I don't know. I think maybe it's a little bit of COVID because she started college when COVID started. So she had a lot of alone time. So she's kind of been more in her introvert bag than I've been like my whole life. You know, I just been outside once I figured I could go outside. Once I could step outside, I was outside. I don't know, because I've been inside like majority of my life. Well, not majority, 18 years. Because I ain't had nowhere to go, no car, no money. And then once I started getting it, I was just like, wow, what's over here? I gotta rein it back in. But my sister, she's been good. She's been cooking. We've been eating. We've been doing a good job. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it's going for her. Also, you know, I've noticed she tells me I yell a lot. And I'm like, that's because I'm a little bit impatient when it comes down to her. Because sometimes I'm like, I know you hear me talking, girl. But she'll just be doing her own thing. And I'm like, I said, let's go. She's like, stop yelling at me, Jackie. You've been yelling at me since I was a baby. I was like, dang, let me explore that. Why do I yell at you? Because you feel like you could just do whatever you want to do. And I don't like that. But I don't know. I guess we're learning how to communicate better. So, you know, stay tuned for that. She's looking for a job. So, you know, if anybody's hiring, they want some administrative assistance, anybody that works in IT, you know, she got all that, you know? And she's super sweet, super nice. What are your impressions on her? I know you met her before, but like now she's coming around us. You know, what are your thoughts on her?
Oh, quiet. I don't know. I still haven't I haven't learned her as a person, I feel like, at this point in time. So, you know, more opportunities to come. Just quiet. I don't know. She'll just be there.
Yeah. The one thing I said, what about you? You met her a couple times?
No, same thing. It's kind of like that little sister look. It's kind of like, oh, they just in the background. So
she just be chilling. I will say though, it sucks that my space isn't as big as I would like it to be. You know, if I had a space like this, I wouldn't really feel so like on top of, but we have to be like really on it when it comes down to cleaning and stuff like that, because it can get real messy real fast. We just got a lot of stuff. We're just a bunch of girls. Speaking of moving in, somebody's moving out. So I don't know, we talked about it last season, but Lil Strappy is officially in Chicago. So yeah.
So when you go on a visit?
What you mean? I went the first week. So, like, you know, she has a nice space. I'm really excited for her journey, starting school. And I'm just like, dang, I'm just used to you being here. Because it was a transition when my sister moved in, because we couldn't really, like, be in my house because, like, it's kind of awkward. And then she had a roommate. So it's like, okay, I got to be quiet. I don't really like that too much. But it was good being out her space a little bit. Not gonna lie, I'm like a little sad, but we kind of knew this time was coming. But I mean, whatever happens, happens. I mean, we're still talking. It's not like an official, you know, my sister was like, so I thought y'all were gonna be like, okay, shake hands and walk away. Like, no, it doesn't really happen like that. It's just kind of more of a, okay, well, let's see this goes. If we're gonna glide away naturally, let's make it natural. You know, if we're still intentional about talking to each other, like, why not? I think it's important to state that, like, at the end of the day, nobody's like locked in. So if we see opportunities, you know, go for the opportunities.
So what do you mean by like y'all still agreeing to talk to each other? Like talk as in
I'm gonna
like
pick up the phone when she calls and vice versa. We're still like, you know, talking on the phone. You know, we have some tentative plans of seeing each other again. So she's coming here.
My 2-part question is, you said you're kind of sad. And I'm like, what are you sad about? And 2, I'm like, what value do you see her bringing to your life?
Intimacy. Just that intimacy, and just actually working on being more vulnerable with somebody, and actually just like working on that communication style. I never really got an opportunity to like do that in my more recent time.
Why do you feel like she is somebody that you should practice that with?
You got that. You got me there. Well, she's just here. She's present.
Yeah, she's just here. Sorry, continue.
Well, obviously she doesn't like it too much. Yeah, it's just somebody that's here, and it's just like, I feel like
I just want to call that out again.
Yeah,
I just want to call what you're saying out. Continue.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is somebody that's just like in my life in that space. And it's just like, if I can't learn how to speak to just someone that I'm sharing my space and intimate moments with, you know, when it comes down to me actually getting into like a real relationship, I feel like I'm gonna be like, what's going on? You know?
I mean, you could do that by yourself too.
I also think that
I do think you need to actually learn to like speak with somebody when
And-
you're in a space, like while you're there. Now,
it could be friends. It doesn't have to be some random person though. That's what I'm saying. Like why her? Like why her, who is not necessarily going to potentially exist? It's not anything that you're really being intentional about. It's just like, if we can, if we could, if we. So I'm just wondering, like, why do you feel like someone who you think is very could be here, could not? Why do you want to open up to somebody
I think because
like that? Because that's how you get hurt, which is
true.
why you don't open up anymore. I'm like, why? Again, you continue to open up to people who you already know you don't need to. So I'm trying to prevent everything else that's going to happen. So I'm just like, I want you to be very clear about what you're saying and what you're doing.
Because at this point, it's like you're practicing for a relationship that with somebody that you're not going to get into.
That you don't even really want, because you're not even saying like, I want to be in a relationship with her. She wants to be in a relationship with me. So we are doing these things that people do in relationship. That's why I'm like, why are you doing things in relationship that you're not in?
Okay,
Or
I guess
want to be.
I guess you can say it like that, but overall, I'm just working on just practicing vulnerability and just being honest and open and authentic with somebody. Because at the end of the day, if we were to be together, it would be just based off me being authentic and not playing a game. And then if it's with the next person, I've already had a moment to like, I know what it feels like to come into like cognitive dissonance when it comes down to some conflict and how to approach it and how to speak on it. And also like see how I actually would want to be treated like from now on. Like I've gotten certain treatment from this person that I haven't gotten with anybody else before that I would like. And, you know, those traits, I'm like, okay, I really like this about this person. I would like this to be like something I would like to continue with if me and this person are not talking anymore. Like, I do think I'm learning more about myself during this situation than like, and just how to go about relationships in general. And also, it's helping me like shape what I'm like looking for or what I expect from now on. So I know I can't predict the future. So, you know, at the end of the day, I just know like what I would be looking for and what I, you know, what I like and what I don't like. Because it's been hard when you're by yourself. And I can sit up and say, oh, when I get in a relationship, I'm gonna talk like this, I'm gonna do like this, we're not gonna have these problems. But it's just like when your feelings are hurt, you know, you don't know what life is like and how you're gonna feel if your feelings are not actually hurt. But when your feelings are hurt in that moment, like, okay, here's a moment. How are we going to approach this? And what are we going to take from this? What lesson are we learning here? So that's what I'm getting from this experience. It's just like, it's that close, intimate relationship and like how to approach like all my relationships from now on, like how to actually like be more open and more vulnerable. Yes, I can do it with friends, but it's different when you're like fucking somebody, you know? Like, for instance, you and I talk, we're just going to be talking. We can talk, we can continue on. We've had our moments and like, you know, we're exploring how to navigate those spaces as friends. But when you're in like a romantic situation or sexual situation, there are more things that happen. I know for me, there's more things that happen to my brain. My ego is more involved. My like emotions are more involved in a different way. So in a roundabout way, yes, I could learn how to do this with other people, but this is the person that I'm sharing space with in that moment and time now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to learn to be authentic, honestly.
Okay. All right.
I have to prepare for my feelings to get hurt at the end if it doesn't work out like that. But it's the name of the
Just
game.
even you saying that is crazy to me. I gotta prepare. Well, what? What? Sorry,
I'm just saying,
I'm trying. I'm just trying. You know, that's what I'm working
I
on
guess
myself.
I'm just being more realistic.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, you're being realistic, but you're being realistic on.
You already know it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
like you tell yourself and you tell us, right? What are you telling me? I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. What are you telling me?
I'm just saying. I'm always like you know.
So
I don't know.
I get to me. I don't want anybody who don't entertain me. Don't entertain me if you're lukewarm. Right? What got me in Capricorn, the intention from the beginning was there. That's the only energy I want. I don't know what kind of energy you are interested in. That's the only energy I want. So therefore, I'm just saying, like, when you are talking about things one way and then you still, the words and the behaviors don't line up to me. And I'm trying to get your words and behaviors to line up. That's why I keep asking the questions and like trying to get you to be like, so when you say these things and you talk about this person this way, but then you do these things, they don't make sense to me listening to you. So again, this is where I'm like, am I over invested? Should I just be listening and being like, okay, cool, have a great time? Or do I try and give you a heads up? I know, that's why I'm like, I'm trying to be chill now, but it gets hard for me. So I'm like, I'm just like chill,
okay,
backing up.
I mean, like, it's just, I guess I'm at the end of the day I'm really trying to be realistic. Like, I've never gotten a situation where like, okay, you're interesting, you're cool, let's hang out. Oh, we're hanging out a lot. Oh, we're hanging out a lot. You know, now we're in the space of like, okay, now we're sharing feelings and emotions. Okay. Now we're in this other space of like, okay, you're moving, you're going in a different direction. I got to rein myself in and figure out what I'm doing here. Now, will that lead us apart? More than likely, yes. Also, are there behaviors and things that this person does that I personally like? I don't. Is this person actually intentionally talking about changing or being more aware of their feelings? I'm allowing them to do that. You know, I actually am I'm like, you know what? Yes, if you would like to change and you want to do these things, do it on your own. If you feel like you should be different or you want to move different, do that. I'm giving you the space to. Like, I'm not closing the door, but I'm not like, it's not wide open. I think if anything, I'm being lukewarm. Like, we're both being lukewarm. Intentionality, I like that you said that was what you were looking for off the top. I think for me, I was just looking to like have fun and really explore like myself and then, you know, explore another person because it's been a while since I had a little fun. But mostly what I'm taking from this is just learning how to communicate and just trying to be authentic, just move authentically with myself. Mm-hmm. I'm just going with
so don't confuse fun with like actual, I got to practice being in a relationship with this person. You don't practice being in a relationship with fun. You don't. Mm-hmm. That's how you get hurt. That's how it becomes a one-sided, I think I'm in a relationship with somebody when you're not. Because you're doing the relationship work and you're not in one. You're not. No one's trying to be. Okay. So let's not try to do anything there besides have fun. Get your rocks off when you see each other, fly out, do whatever, and talk about it that way if that's what it is. If you're trying to be in a relationship, that's when you try to apply actually being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to save you, again, the hurt that you are already expecting because you're walking down that road. I'm just trying to tell you to stop walking down it.
Yeah. That's like me saying,
I don't want a self-fulfilling prophecy. I really don't. I really just want to like see where it goes, honestly. Like, I really do.
But you just said you know where it's going.
Well, in my head, I can predict the future, but it's like, is that really like the future? Like, if it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. Because I don't want to.
So that's just like seeing a sign that says the stove is hot, but I still want to see if the stove is hot. But I see the sign. But I want to see.
But you know what that is?
I want to do it. I want to touch it.
We're accepting like facts because fire is hot.
Yeah.
This is it's a situation where somebody is like, hey, I'm doing something new too. We're kind of like understanding and figuring out like, what am I doing that's affecting this person and vice versa. Mm-hmm.
So that's why we keep it in the fun box. It's over there. Because she's just now, right, is starting to do something new, which means she's still doing the old thing, right?
The old thing?
Yeah. The same behaviors that you have an issue with still exist. Do they?
There have been some instances like recently where I'm like, oh, I didn't know that you were thinking of me in that way. I didn't know that, you had me in mind when you were making those decisions just now. Mm-hmm. That's interesting, And I can't like act like that's not like, why would I not think about that as far as like who I would want in my like corner? Somebody that actually is seeing what they're doing and actually like creating change for themselves. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to write somebody off like that, Because if I still had the same intentions, like, this person's just going to be who they are. Fuck it. They're never going to change. Fuck them. And then I'm still in this whole delusional phase. But if you're really interacting with somebody and they're actually like making changes or actually like doing actions that are like, wow, this is very intentional. This is very like,
yeah, I think you don't owe her not a single thing. And if she wants to change, that's cool. Change. Okay. And then, we will revisit, when you change.
Yeah,
but I'm going
owe her that.
I don't owe her. Like I said, we don't owe each other anything. But if I do see some things that are just like, dang, like you're actually like being intentional in this way that I didn't think that you would be, or I never like put it on you to do. It's like, why would I write you off? Like, that's just me. I can't get too much into it, but I don't know. We just had some situations where I expected one action just based off what I've seen before and got something completely different just because of how we've been communicating with each other.
Okay. Well, yeah. We just want to
wait and see, y'all. This is just a continuation of this. It's like, maybe next week I'll be like, oh, whatever. But who knows? I'm open. I'm here for the plot.
Okay. Well, the plot is taking us to Heaux Phases.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Heaux Phases, we all have them, right?
Yes.
Or no?
Not everybody has them. Because a lot of people don't even know what is a Heaux Phase really. Because there's a lot of, like, you got to think of numbers.
Right. Does a Heaux Phase, is it the number of people that you are entertaining? Is it more of a mindset? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I personally think a Heaux Phase has to be mindset plus action. Mm-hmm. I don't think it could just be in your mind. I'm a hoe, but your legs is closed. You're not even outside. What you mean? You can't have a Heaux Phase inside the house just because you thinking about acting up, like just because your mind is open to the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to combine that with some behavior. Now, does the behavior mean 10 people? No. I think that behavior means more than one.
Okay, I don't even think it has to even include like a whole body sometimes. I just think that it's rebelling against yourself in far as like, I have some notes here, but just finding yourself through sexual and non-traditional actions. So it doesn't have to be like a whole person. It could even be with like yourself sometimes. Like I thought of, my Heaux Phase is like, I'm rebelling against my home. I have my own personal upbringings. I think everybody has their own like way of being taught when you're growing up. But then I'm like, I'm rebelling against that. I'm staying out later. Or I decided I'm going to be riding in cars. Bless you.
Thank you.
I just really think it's just going against your non-traditional actions that you normally would do,
Don't mind me.
And sometimes it could be sexual. Sometimes it could be, just riding in cars with people. Maybe it's drinking a little bit more. I do think that the word Heaux Phase is like subjective.
So I just looked up Heaux Phase on Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say a Heaux Phase is a temporary period where a person engages in consensual, casual sex and dating multiple partners, often to explore sexuality, gain confidence, and to learn their desires without emotional commitment.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I found myself feeling like I was in my own Heaux Phase, like just actually stepping out and just going out more too. But if we're just going to go with that definition, then sure.
Yeah, because I think the self-exploration.
You got to be out fucking and sucking. Too much.
I just think it's like self-exploration, like you said, but
But I think the self-exploration does have to include somebody else to be a Heaux Phase. I think you can explore yourself by yourself and not be a hoe.
So if I'm deciding I'm gonna buy like butt plugs and I want to like watch different types of porn and that's not being a hoe.
Correct. No, because you're by yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you're learning your sexual desires and interests. I think that that's what that is. But I don't think that that's a Heaux Phase. I think a Heaux Phase does involve another person. And to me, it would be. And then we get into questions of like, well, how many people? Because what is the difference between a Heaux Phase and dating? Because you can date and have sex. But I'm like, so what does that mean in regards to a Heaux Phase? I think that's where the mindset comes in.
Can you be in a Heaux Phase while being in a relationship?
No, I don't think you should be.
I mean, if you having sex with your partner and then also having sex with other people. They can be temporary, right?
Is it consensual by
Well, then you're being a cheater.
your partner?
You're being a shitty person.
I mean, it's probably consensual by other people.
Okay. If it's not consensual with the partner, I maybe it is a hoe phase. I think you're cheating, clearly. Mm-hmm. And to me, I think you're still in your hoe phase. I think you have to have had the phase. It needs to have been completed before you enter into relationships. Now, I'm not saying that like you can't go back to a hoe phase.
People do go back.
Because you absolutely can. But I'm saying like if you are being a hoe while in a relationship, you are still in your hoe phase.
Or just a hoe.
You in a whole relationship.
If we're taking that definition,
I like that was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we're taking that definition, I'm just kind of like, okay, just anything that doesn't involve a actual relationship with another person. Like, well, I mean, you can also, some people feel like their whole phase is exploring different, relationship styles, that what we talked about. Just me like, oh, I'm getting into a non-monogamous situation. So this is also me doing my whole phase. Yeah, I'm in a relationship, but I'm exploring this other stuff.
Yeah.
too.
I feel like, again, the mindset is very important because to me, I think a hoe phase is very much so like fun focused, like pleasure focused. Like when you are in a hoe phase, it is like I'm seeking pleasure, like I'm not seeking relationship, community, like I'm not seeking partnership, like intimacy in that way. I'm seeking pleasure. Like that is what your hoe phase is about, like pleasure and fun and exploration. Like that's what I would do. Like that would be the mindset there. So that's what I would differentiate between a hoe phase and dating. Like you can date and have sex, but you're dating like with intention. And so you're having sex like, I'm hopeful that this will be something. A hoe phase is like, I'm not hopeful that this is going to be anything. I actually prefer that it's not. I'm trying to have sex with you, and then I'm probably trying to figure it out.
Good.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do we announce that we're going through a hoe phase, or do we just find ourselves in it?
I think anytime anybody says, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, you can take that as they are in their hoe phase. If they're talking to people, if they are, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, and I'm not I'm not talking to anyone, I'm not dating, I'm not entertaining people, then that's fine. You're on your own, whatever journey that is. Celibacy.
Self-love.
Sure.
Self-love journey.
But
I mean, the first hoe phase that I've had, I didn't know I was in the hoe phase until like after it. So.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it was kind of like I kind of fell into it.
What do you mean you didn't know until after? Because then again, we're back on the mindset.
So I didn't know what a hoe phase was until like later on after I did it. So this happened when I first like started having sex. And it was just like from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. So, back then I really didn't, have confidence like that. So seeing all this attention, I was just like, oh shoot. Now I was in a relationship one of them times. So, and I was still doing me. But yeah, I didn't know exactly what that was until somebody explained it to me. I was like, oh, okay. But also my other whole phases was just like me trying to get over somebody. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I think when you're first having sex with multiple people, yeah, I think you probably don't know. It's probably fun forward. You're like, wow. Wow, this is a great time. You're interested? You want to have a great time with me? You want to have a great time with me? You want to have a great time with me? Yeah, I think it's fun forward, ego forward. Like,
definitely ego for me.
Yeah.
Now I gotta see if my pussy works because I'm tired of this. That's what happened to me. So I feel like I had 2 solid whole phases in my life. First was college after I broke up with my boyfriend when I first got to college. And then after that, it was, I just got to Houston. So I got to see if my pussy works. So I have a question. Do you think a whole phase is something that everybody goes through or just a cultural concept?
I want to say it's something that everybody goes through, but when I say everybody, I mean 90% of people.
Okay.
So I think most people are going to have a hoe phase. I think if asexual, obviously you're not even really interested in sex, so you probably won't have a Heaux phase. I think that if you're maybe like uber religious and you stay uber religious, you're not curious, then you might not have a Heaux phase. I think the average person growing up in today is probably going to have a Heaux phase, mostly because like what they see around them is that.
Mhm.
And we might confuse that with dating. Like, I think it's very easy today to think that like dating and hoeing are kind of synonymous.
So I think for me, it's more so of a cultural thing. I feel like us as Americans, we've made it a part of like a phrase. Like we all know what a Heaux phase is or have an idea of what a Heaux phase is. For Black people, we'll probably use the term Heaux phase more. For other cultures or other races, it may be sowing your wild oats,
I was gonna say, I feel like we be saying, who's that fast little girl?
Oh, just going through your fast phase, you being fast. That's maybe for the older generation. For us, it's just like, hey, I'm just doing me right now. It really covers, we can say a lot of things and it kind of means the same thing. I do think that since we live in a more sexually liberated society, that's why it's more of a cultural concept. I don't think that it's more the majority of the world goes through that because some people just like at the end of the day, you grew up to traditional and you have a fear of your higher power. So you're kind of just, I'm going to do what the book says or the script or the scroll, and I'm going to just keep it moving. And I do think a lot of people don't particularly care to have a Heaux phase too. Like, regardless of religion, there are some people who just genuinely don't. I don't need that. Like, I don't really see myself fucking a lot of people. So I'm good on that. And those are the people that get married early. I think that's just my opinion.
So I feel like let's talk about gender then, because
All
I
right.
feel like that's not the same. That's men. I feel like it's a part of you aren't a man until, right?
Unfortunately, yes, that is.
It is. It is. And I really, honestly, hats off to the guys who were faced with that and was, pressured to do that. And they just decided that's just not my type of thing. That's just not my shtick. For guys, they're less, criminalized for it. That's why, girls, we have to be a little bit more, we when we think about Sex in the City, a lot of people liked Samantha, but they didn't want to be Samantha because of how out, and she was very proud of her sexual like adventures.
Yeah, we still try to demonize it.
Yeah, they still look even to this day. But for a guy like Big, they're like, that's a guy I want to be. Because Samantha and Big were the same person, in my opinion. Like, just two different genders. Like, nobody bats an eye that he's on his third wife, and nobody cared that like he just had a lot of money, a lot of power. He could do what he wanted to do. But even just the average guy, like, say, like my brother, if he wasn't talking to or getting hoes, quote unquote, it's just like, are you really a man? Are you really that dude? And I really hate that respect kind of falls into like, your sexual conquest as a dude. But would you date a guy who didn't have a Heaux phase? Like, okay, let me rephrase this question. Does a guy having a Heaux phase determine whether or not you're going to date them or not?
No.
Okay.
I'm not somebody who's like, oh my gosh, you've had sex with like 100 people. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what people would think about that because I don't know. I would just be like, oh yeah, sounds like you went to college. And then if someone was like, you're gonna be the third person I've ever been with, I'd be like, I think that would be more scary to me.
That's a lot of responsibility. No, actually, I think the first is a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I'm about to say the first. Yeah.
The third is just like, because my thing is, you could have been hanging from the ceiling with just one partner for like 5-10 years. And then you just like, okay, now you do have to realize that me and your partner are two different bodies, your ex-partner, two different bodies. You're going to have to open up a little bit.
And I think that that's why it would be scary to me. Cause I'm like, do you have the tools? Like, do you have the tools to even, and I guess, I can also communicate and be like, whatever, here's what works for me. But I'm like, I don't know. Do you have the awareness? And I guess you can have the knowledge without having the actual experience. So that's possible. But I would very much be like, only 3. Like, to me, I feel like you might not. I would judge and be like, you're not as sexually like free and liberated. Like, do you want to have sex? Do we have the same sexual appetite? Like, I don't know. Like, I would start looking at you like, I'm probably closer to the person with 100. Okay. And so I would be like, hey, you've been around. Okay. You might know some things. Again, either way doesn't so much matter. What are you working with? Am I going to enjoy myself once I'm here? That's really all I'm actually thinking about.
I think for me, it doesn't matter. For me, it would just be more so like, so now how are you treating women in your life? Like, if you've only dated 1 or 2, people, like, how do you see women? How do you see dating? Like, how do you see sex? Like, how's your mindset? And then also, if you've been with like 150 people, do you feel like women are pieces of meat? Do you feel like sex is just masturbation with another person? I'm like, I really want to see what your headspace is after you've come out of this so-called Heaux phase.
Do you expect people to, 1, ask you that question, and 2, ask you like those follow-up questions?
Well, like how many people I've been with,
right?
Or have had a Heaux phase.
How many people have you been with? And then ask you the follow-up questions afterwards.
My thing is, we're too old to be asking those type of questions. Okay?
That's why I'm saying it does not matter to me literally either way. But if we were just talking about I would be more concerned about like, you've only been with 3 people. I would be like,
I honestly welcome that. Honestly, I've never been with some guy who just been with like a few women. I don't know what that looks like.
Right. Me neither. And I'm not saying that I'm not interested. What I'm saying is I would have more questions about like, are we aligned when it comes to sex? Because I would want to know, how do you approach sex? What do you think about it? Just like what you're saying, but for different reasons. I don't know. So obviously I think we have those types of questions and like judgment, as women. I don't think like people are really like saying those things and talking to men in that kind of way.
They're not.
But I wonder if there is a similarity in regards to there's not. I'm answering the question before I ask the question. Do you feel like there is an age to end your Heaux phase? Does that matter for men and women? Is it different?
I think that honestly, there's no age, because you know what? I was just out last night with some folks that I feel like they are deep in their Heaux phase and they are in the ripe age of 40. Okay. So my thing is, those that are prone to have a Heaux phase, it's going to happen when you're young or it's going to happen when you're old. So my thing is, it's like, you kind of can't, you could possibly control when you have it for yourself. But my thing is, when life happens, it's like, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. We're out in Houston now. Houston is a dystopian society. So you got people at Urban Social and Davenport, 50 something years old, having a new Heaux phase. They are fresh off divorces. So, and then you have people who are, in college age, and they're just figuring out, oh, I am in a Heaux phase, or this is my time of doing me. So no, I don't think it has age to it.
I think everyone should be transparent though. Okay. Like, what are you here for? Because that's where we end up on different pages and people's feelings get hurt. Like, are you hoeing or are you dating? Are you hoeing or are you dating? And let's be transparent about it. Because there does not need to be any manipulation involved. Okay. There are people who want to have sex with you. So find them. Don't manipulate people. Okay. Just if that's all you're looking for. Do not tell the person who wants to actually date that you're interested. Like, don't string people along. In a traditional setting, I'm like, if I was to answer this, I'd be like, I think, why am I like, my first answer wanted to be like 25, but then I was like, that's not it. Then I was like 28 and I was like, I don't feel like it's it either. Then I was like 32. And maybe that's because that's where we are currently today. I'm like, I feel like that should be it. But again,
I think that'd be it because you find yourself in a relationship now that you could see yourself like being coupled up with in the future. And that's just what you yourself would be, and also
even with Brokey, I don't know if I would think that I'm in a Heaux phase. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm having sex with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was like a Heaux phase because it was just him. It was not a relationship.
Situationship.
Absolutely. I will take that.
It is a relationship.
It is a type of interaction.
That was a
relationship.
I want to end the podcast now.
Go for it. Look. So on the next.
Okay, wait, quick question. So you don't think that was a relationship?
We've had this conversation before. Now we've already had, it's a form of relationship. So,
did we interact? And because we are people, there was some kind of relationship? Yes. Was I in a relationship with him? The answer is no. Was that a situationship? Sure. Because there was like dates funded by me, but that's me wanting to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me being like, yeah, I want to be outside. So I guess, I got to swipe.
You got to pay the way if you want to have fun.
You couldn't find nobody else to be outside with?
No. And no, I did not find anybody else to be outside with. I've had dates while talking to Brokey. Mm-hmm. And no, I did not find anybody else to be outside with.
It just wasn't your time. I feel like time is important.
There we go.
So.
Sorry.
All right. So pretty much what lessons, good or bad, did your Heaux phase teach you about relationships, self-worth, and boundaries? All those beautiful, therapy words.
I think that in general, people will do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a lot of what I've learned is like, oh yeah, like people will literally do what they want. People will do what you allow. I think those are my biggest lessons. Like, as long as you understand that, all right. I think also like setting your expectations in your mind, like, and not like blurring the lines. I think those would be the lessons that I would take. Like I can see how someone is moving and take it for how it is. How I am moving does influence how somebody else interacts with me. It does not 100% determine it, but it does influence it. And if I want more, you gotta ask for it. You gotta require it. But yeah, I'm very like the camp of I'll see how you're moving, and if I want to have it around me type of person.
Yeah, I think the Heaux phases have taught me that. I feel like I've learned more sexually about myself, like what I like. I've, gotten better at sex with practice, obviously, but how and where and who I want to have sex with. That's what I learned during my Heaux phase. Also, I've learned like the company you keep actually deeply influences you. I didn't realize how much like I felt like I had to have a lot of sex because my friends were having a lot of sex. I felt like, I did feel like, dang, am I missing out? Do I need to do a little bit more? And I realized like, no, because then I found myself in some very dangerous situations that I didn't want to be in. And I realized I didn't have to be in. And the only reason I felt like I had to be in those spaces is because I felt like I couldn't say no, And so like the boundary part, that's where I'm just like, okay, if you feel uncomfortable, you have to back away. It's okay to say no. Because I really like growing up, we talked about like what we learned, like the ins and outs of like sex and stuff. Like, unfortunately, I grew up feeling like a little bit more male-centered than I am today and feeling like the man kind of controls, like lead the dance. And, once you find yourself in a space, like you kind of, in my head, I was being my own bully. Like, well, you kind of let this person on, you brought them into your house, you're hanging out with them, you over here wearing shorts, booty shorts, all the other stuff. Like, not to say like this gives them like an out, but just more so like, I have to take my own personal accountability for my own actions. At the end of the day, I can't control what that person does because that person's a horrible person and they take it too far. That's on them. But I also have to think about me too. Like, let's prevent ourselves getting into these situations. Let's not feel like I have to let this person in my home. I don't even trust them, but I'm doing it because everybody else is doing it. If it works for them, it works for them. But what works for me works for me. So again, that's what to learn.
Yeah. You mentioned something earlier in your comment about like you learned different like sexual experience, like what you like and don't like and whatever. And I thought that was so interesting because I feel like in my Heaux phase, I don't feel like I was like super comfortable with anybody that I was having sex with to be like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you were talking about it and being like, oh, I like this and I don't like this, or you should do this and blah, 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 and having those conversations. Like I just kind of took those experiences as like, these are the experiences. I'm going to get what I get from this situation.
Yeah.
Which I think has been interesting because in my current relationship, having those kinds of conversations have been weird for me because I'm like, oh,
it's your first time like actually doing it. Yeah.
I'm like, how do we approach this? What are we gonna say?
That look.
What's going on? So from that perspective, did my Heaux phase prepare me? No, because I wasn't practicing with people that I didn't have to practice with. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like having those kinds of conversations are things that I didn't practice in. So from that perspective, it is a little bit more difficult. It's also difficult because you have different experiences that maybe you have had that like you're comparing to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's where it gets a little unhealthy when you have like, oh, you know what? I could do this with this person. I've done this with that person. Why aren't you doing that? That comparison is that thief of joy that, we talk about. But yeah, I feel like it's prepared me to like know what I like and what I don't like. So when I am coming into the bedroom, I do have a little bit more confidence as far as like for me. Because I know for me, like I know like a different body is going to be a different experience. So everyone's going to be treated differently. But I know for me, that is universal. It's like I know what turns me on and what doesn't turn me on. I know what type of style I like and what I don't like. Like I've learned, how people like it rough. Some people like it soft. Some people like to be hammered. Some people like a good stroke. Like through my whole phase, I've learned that. And so just like, now that you're in your relationship and you're like, okay, now I have to approach this. I'm very like, calm it down. Like, or not like that. Actually, let me show you. And actually, have you tried this? Let's try it, And I know from the partners I've had, it's just been for them. What I've gotten was like, I actually like that. I feel very comfortable, or I never thought about it this way. Thank you for like bringing it to my attention. Like because our intentionality is like to create change and also like to create a safe space. So there are a lot of moments where I didn't feel comfortable, and so I feel like I had to find during my whole phase, I found my own voice within like owning who I am sexually as a person. But I understand like when you say when you're going to sex, it's just sex and that's it. But I mean, we already talked about in the beginning of the podcast. I go for a girlfriend experience, and that's where, communication and expectations come in. Yeah, like I said, I do blur the lines a little bit, but I don't know. It's just kind of like, if I'm going to fuck, we going to have a good time. And how am I going to have a good time now? So yeah, I think that we could use it as a learning experience. That's what I've done. I've taken it as a good learning experience. So last but not least, so how do you reconcile your past self with the lessons you are, with the person you are today? Sorry. Let's try that one more time. How do you reconcile your past self with the person you are today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything to reconcile with. Like I don't look at like the Heaux phase or Heaux phases that I have had and been like, You got to repent for those, honey.
You know, a lot of people do that. So.
I feel like, you know, just like with any kind of experience, it helps shape who you are today. So if I didn't have those experiences, I could be different today. And do I want to be? I feel like I'm all right. I think that, you know, I give myself grace for, you know, maybe not always having sex because I genuinely wanted to. You know, I think those are the things that I'd be like, yeah, I feel sad for you a little bit, you know, because maybe sometimes you were trying to get an outcome. And so I think about those moments and being like, you shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't have had to feel like you needed to do anything for anybody, which is, again, why I'm very into like, I'm going to let you do what you would like to do. And if I want to deal with that ish, then I will. And if I don't, then I will not. So, you know, I think that those are maybe the kind of things that I reflect on when I think about like, that time in my life. You know, shout out to coming out from a lot of experiences healthy and in good well-being. Okay, mentally and physically. All right.
Yeah. Because you could have came out with a whole kid that you had to take care of.
Oh, Lord. I'm
just saying. Well, you know, depending on if you are pro-choice or not, you know. But I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, I think for me, reconciling with the fact that I actually dealt with a lot of shame growing up, because honestly, sex wasn't talked about in my house. It wasn't like, you know, you said you grew up, your mom was a nurse, so you all have to talk and all that stuff. Honestly, you know, I mentioned it before, like, it just wasn't a thing. My mom is easy to talk to and she's easy to approach, but she never initiated these conversations. It was just one of those things where if I felt curious, I had to ask, but I had to develop that courage to ask. And so with that, I like had a lot of shame within me. And so when I felt myself in these quote unquote Heaux phases, I was like, dang, I'm really disappointed my grandma, disappointed my family, disappointed myself. And, you know, just reconciling with the fact that, baby girl, you're just learning and you're finding yourself. And at the end of the day, the person who's supposed to be with you, if you are to be partnered, is going to love the fact that you had a moment in periods of life where you had that self-exploration. Because I do think that's what a whole phase is. Period.
Absolutely. That's right. Because the person that's for you will be for you and accept you, flaws, and all.
You're stupid. You know, it's actually supposed to be like this.
They do say that this is like...
This is from the ballroom scene, okay?
That's what I heard, okay? And then
so
this
girls
one
are now, the girlies are doing it clock it. Because, you know, we be selling stuff from the gays and we don't be giving them their little flowers and stuff like that. I'm just saying, y'all know where y'all get it from. The girlies.
Interesting.
So,
all right, well, we're going to conclude this episode. Again, welcome. This is season 3. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Go ahead and contribute down below in the comment section. Just talk to us on IG. Talk to us. Actually, we need a Twitter. We're going to work on that. But, you know, just talk back to us. Tell us about your Heaux phase, what it taught you, any lessons that you want to share with other people. You know, this is all life. We're all learning.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you stop having your Heaux phase, okay, that's because some of us have not. All right. Well, you know where to find us. We're still on the same old platforms, Instagram and TikTok, at just_extra_podcast. You can follow Jackie at all things J. Jay is spelled out. You can follow me, Erica, at Erica_stay ready, and Hassan at Mr.Forbes. The dot is spelled out, folks. DOT.
And we will. That spit.
Huh?
Heard all that spit.
Ooh. And with that, y'all, we will see y'all next week. Bye.
We're just being extra.